folks, I'm Caesar, lecturer in English. Now I'm going to teach you a lesson from Senior Intermediate Prose. The name of the lesson is Spoon Feeding, written by W.R.Inge, famously known as W.R.Inge. The lesson goes on like this. In the season when the British paterfamilias is sending their children on their Christmas visit to the dentist, it must occur to him to wonder why the noble savage never has any trouble with his teeth. If we take this thing quite seriously to heart, we can have a proper understanding about how the noble savages never suffered with toothache. Spoon feeding has reduced man to a toothless animal. The reasons are quite apparent. Modern cookery, the way how we are preparing food, and we are taking too much care towards our daily living. We are using forks on false purposes. Like earlier, savages used hands to take their food. Nowadays, modern man feels this activity as a taboo. He feels food should be taken in a stylish manner with forks or knives. Man is responsible for all these evils and social miseries. The noble savage never knew what appendicitis or cancer was, but the modern man is familiar with all diseases like appendicitis, tuberculosis, cancer. If we ponder over this, we can understand that health has reduced. We stooped our energies to dust. We do not have proper strength. We are not enjoying healthy food. We don't have good physique or physical stamina. We are not taking life in a pleasant manner. This is quite an example for what civilization has done to us. Modern man lack all energies and abilities. For example, if you take a housewife, in the earlier days, she used to bake bread, prepare jam, and home brewed wine. Home brewed wine. But nowadays, the modern housewife is not performing all her duties. We are buying all these items from a supermarket. So, how can we get the food which we need to improve our health? It is out of our hands. Austin Freeman has made an interesting research about the savage life. These savages build waterproof huts on their own in few hours. If we take the modern man into this context, he cannot build at least a small hut on his own. We depend on the government and its funding. If it doesn't provide any funding, we become simply homeless. So modern man is not capable enough to design his life. Take for example, science and technology. Every year we come across a new invention. Earlier we have typewriters, nowadays we have computers. Handwriting is a beautiful art. We call it calligraphy. But if we take this issue seriously, if schools have typewriters and if we encourage small tots to use typewriters instead of pen and paper, we may come across a generation which doesn't know how to write at all. This is a serious phenomenon which we have to take with attention. Walking and riding were health-giving exercises in the earlier bygone days, but nowadays they are called merely activities of boredom. Walking 10 or 20 miles a day was a joyful activity in the earlier days, but nowadays we cannot see a human being walking for 10 or 20 miles. So we can understand that they have good stamina, strength, which modern man lacks. These changes have come over reading and even in the prose also. Reading was a joyous activity. Spectacles were invented in the 1300 AD. Sophocles was a famous tragedian. We know him as the father of tragedies. He wrote his last play, Antigone, at the age of 90 without spectacles. So we can imagine his eyesight and strength also. If we take modern prose, we give enough liberty to the reader. We do not wish to jolt his brain at all. We use simple grammar, simple sentence structures, and simple vocabulary, unlike the medieval prose. Medieval prose was quite tough, vocabulary was perplexing, grammar was sound. If we have to understand the meaning of a sentence, we have to ransack while browsing different dictionaries. This is how quality has dipped down from ages to ages. Unlike the earlier man, we don't have soundness of any particular skill. This is even apparent in sports and several activities like mountaineering. If we take cricket at Hawthorne, they used to make the batsman stand at a slopey track. From the higher ends to the downward end, they used to throw the ball and it gets an extra pace. And if it hits the wicket, the ancient cricketer never complained against the groundman or the bowler. If the same ball hits the batsman in the contemporary cricket, he complains against the groundman immediately. He finds fault with him. So the quality, toughness, and the competitive spirit is never seen in the modern lifestyle and the modernized living of today. The same process of making things easy is discernible in even several fields. Half a century ago, mountaineering was an adventurous activity. But nowadays, we often come across mountaineers taking it as a challenge. Everyone has a passion to have a physique like a Zulus or South Sea Islander. We go to gym. We desire to have a physique like Zulus, but we can't get a sound physique in just a few hours. It is a daily activity. Years of practice, years of continuous concentration finally gives you a bona fide physique. Nothing makes soul so pure, so religious as the endeavor to create something perfect. Only God is perfection for us. So, finding perfection may happen in reality, in realistic terms, by holding our hands and lifestyle akin to nature. Man doesn't have any association with nature in today's life, whereas earlier man found himself as a part and parcel of nature. There's the big difference which we can witness in the course of history, in the annals of history. Through spoon feeding, through this awakening essay, Inge pointed out the house and vice in the drooping of man's energies. We never like tough endeavors, difficult tasks. We want everything to be easy, simple, comfortable. We expect everything tough to be done by others. This very psychology has stooped man to a toothless animal. The writer W.R.Inge once again emphasizes that quality has become an outdated term. Comfort has become the alter ego of life. This is the chief essence of the lesson.